Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Andy Root channel. Today we're doing another what if scenario, and the topic today is about Miguel. What if Miguel died after the school fight? I know many of you have wanted this, so I'm here to answer my opinion on what I think would happen if Miguel died. A lot of people actually did think that Miguel was going to die in season 3. I thought it was obvious that he was going to live, but how would the show carry on with Miguel's death? I'm going to refer back to one of my season 3 theories that ended up being wrong. I said that they were almost going to pull the plug on Miguel, but then he will wake up last minute. Let's just say they decide to pull the plug and he doesn't wake up. That's it, Miguel's dead. Whatever the scenario is requiring them to pull the plug, it happens. We can even make it where he passes away on his own, since that does happen. What happens now? Where does the story go? Now, I would say that this whole season would be completely different and a whole lot darker. Everyone's character arc would be different. This honestly changes a lot in the story. Let me start with how it would affect Johnny. Johnny would be a complete wreck and would be ridden with guilt. He would be just like he was at the beginning of the season, but stay like that even longer, or may even end up worse. I believe the first episode and second episode would almost go exactly the same, except for the part where Daniel and Johnny team up to fight at the chop shop. Everything would change at the gas station when Daniel gets a text from Amanda saying Miguel passed away and to let Johnny know what happened. Instead of telling him that Miguel woke up like what originally happened, he would let him know the bad news. I think the scene would go something like this. Daniel says, "Oh my God," on the verge of tears. Johnny says, "What's wrong? What happened?" Johnny, I don't know how to tell you this, but Miguel passed away in his sleep. I just got a text from Amanda saying he's brain dead and they're about to pull the plug. Johnny looks absolutely shocked and heartbroken. Johnny, I'm so sorry. No, that wasn't supposed to happen. Johnny immediately freaks out and gets in the car, about to drive away, just like he did in the real show. But this time, it's an emotional outrage, rather than a quick chase. Johnny, wait! Daniel quickly gets in the car and Johnny drives really fast to the hospital. Johnny sprints through the hospital to find Miguel, with Daniel close behind him. The hospital staff tries to stop Johnny multiple times, but he ignores them to find Miguel. He runs through the ER and sees Miguel's family there sobbing over Miguel's lifeless body. Johnny slows down and kneels down towards him, crying to put his words together. "Miguel, I'm so sorry. I failed you." He sobs some more. "Should have never gotten involved. You were like my son, and I failed once again. You taught me more than I ever taught you, Miguel. I'll miss you, kid." Johnny breaks down and the nurses, along with Daniel, trying to pick up Johnny. They proceed to pull the plug and the long beep rings as everyone sits there sobbing. Daniel is also very emotional to see this happen. It's a very sad scene. Daniel then gets a text from Shannon saying that Robby is with her at the rehab and to come help ASAP. Daniel starts to freak out and worry about Robby because he would now be wanted for manslaughter of Miguel Diaz. Daniel pulls Johnny aside and tells him that Robby has been found. They need to go to help him ASAP. Johnny also starts to panic as well, saying he's right and that he's about to be in a lot of trouble unless he turns himself in. Daniel nods and starts to call the cops. Johnny takes his phone and says, "What the hell are you doing?" "I'm calling the cops and letting them know that Robby is going to turn himself in. We didn't even talk to him yet. What if the cops beat us there?" "Yeah, you're right. Come on, let's talk to him first." They both rush out of the building to find Robby. As you can probably see, Miguel dying causes Daniel not to call the cops before talking to Robby, since Johnny is there. That's at least what I think. This will change a lot in the story regarding his relationship with Daniel and Johnny, because he won't feel betrayed by Daniel, along with not having a reason to feel bitter towards his dad, since Miguel is out of the picture, as fucked up as that sounds. When they get there, Robby will be surprised to see both of them together. Daniel will tell Johnny to let him talk to him first, and Johnny will agree, since Daniel has been the one there for him the most. Daniel will be the one leading the conversation the same way he did in the real show, with Johnny chiming in occasionally, giving his input. They both tell him that Miguel is dead, and Robby will look terrified. He looks at himself as a monster in the moment, and that's when they tell him that he really has to turn himself in now, since he would be facing murder charges. Robby would be completely against it even more than before, since he's terrified of the consequences he would be facing. I can see this story going two different ways. One where he doesn't get convinced to turn himself in and he runs away, or two, Daniel and Johnny convince him to do the right thing and he faces up to what he's done. For the sake of this video, I'm going to go with the second option because either way, I think he would end up in juvie for what he did, regardless if he runs away. And I think the story would be more interesting if he turns himself in. So let's just say Daniel and Johnny convince him to turn himself in and they take him to the police station themselves. I think there would be a whole courthouse scene where they decide how Robby is going to be punished. Daniel and Johnny will have his back, requiring them to work together already for Robby's sake. Daniel will have the money to get a good lawyer for Robby and will help his case a lot. In any real-life scenario, Robby will probably be put in jail for life with a chance for parole because it was not technically an accident by law. I did some research on this a little bit for the sake of the show. Let's just say they somehow get Robby out of this whole mess, but the whole town is against it. Everyone is going to hate Robby except for Johnny and Daniel, which will ultimately mean that everyone is going to hate them too. Daniel's dealership will be going down just like before, but it would be much worse. Their whole goal this season will be to show that Robby is a good person deep down inside, and did not mean to do what he did. This alternate season will have Robby showing remorse for what he did, and trying to make up for it. Sam will never be able to look at him the same again, and it will take time for her to start forgiving him, and let things go back to normal. I think everyone in Miyagi-Do would hate Robby too. There would be a lot of ups and downs with Robby giving up even trying, since everyone hates him. Daniel and Johnny will be there to support him though, and help him get back on his feet. This will make things much worse than ever with Cobra Kai. There would be no Eagle Fang, and Hawk wouldn't redeem himself. Bert and Mitch would still be kicked out, but they would have no one to go to except Johnny. So there could still be an Eagle Fang, but instead of it being Eagle Fang, I think Daniel and Johnny would have teamed up way earlier to combine their teachings. Except this time, they have two reasons to combine their dojos. One, to take down Kreese, and two, to honor Miguel's memory. Johnny will still try to win back his old Cobra Kai students, but to no avail. Kreese will have the upper hand here. He literally shows what showing mercy will do to you. It will kill you, apparently. That's where I think Daniel will come in to help Johnny. The Miyagi-Do students would even start to question his methods as well, but he would eventually win them back and convince them that showing mercy is the right way regardless of the consequences. Cobra Kai would specifically target Robby and bully him throughout the season. And Miyagi-Do wouldn't do much about it since they can't really forgive him either. I think they would eventually have his back though since he is a Miyagi-Do and was sorry for what he did. I could definitely see a few speeches from Robby apologizing multiple times to everybody. Early on in the season, I think there would definitely be a funeral scene for Miguel. I believe just about everyone would be there on all sides except for Robby because he would probably be incapable from being in juvie. I think Daniel, Amanda, Johnny, Sam, the Miyagi-Dos, Miguel's family, the Cobra Kais, and even Kreese will be there. Obviously, I don't think Daniel and Johnny will want Kreese there and will try to kick him out, but Carmen will stop them saying it's okay. Kreese would give the argument that he was Miguel's sensei too, and that Miguel was a big part in Cobra Kai. This would be the one occasion that nobody is fighting, but the tension there would still be strong. Ultimately, in the end, I think there will still be a big fight between all of them, but it will be for Miguel's sake more, on top of the hatred they already have for them. This will be when Miyagi-Do and Sam have already forgiven Robby and have teamed up with a few students to actually return to Johnny. Those being Bert, Mitch, the students Kreese kicked out of Cobra Kai, and that kid whose books got knocked down by Johnny. I'm sure Johnny would make a really good speech to the Cobra Kais about how he screwed up and failed them, but would never do it again. He would still say his lessons are true to the heart and that Miguel still did the right thing. Something along those lines. It still sounds really bad though, wouldn't be enough to convince them to join again. The reason Hawk and the other Eagle Fang students joined in the first place was because of Miguel. They saw that even with the injury he had, he was still on Johnny's side and believed he did the right thing. That's why they joined Johnny, but without Miguel being there, then there isn't a really good reason to believe him. Daniel will ultimately help Johnny though and let him into the dojo. So maybe instead of a combined dojo, we'll see that Johnny just straight up joins Miyagi-Do. I think it makes sense, don't you? He has no one else besides his son now, and he is still Daniel's student, so why not? As for Johnny's relationship with Carmen, I think they will be distant and awkward for a long time. I think she will eventually forgive him though and see that he always cared and helped Miguel. With lots of time, I think relationships will naturally heal and people won't be so blinded by emotion. I could go on and on with what exactly I believe would happen, but here's the basic story idea that I had, along with their relationships. I think a lot of Season 3 would be the same, like the normal season, but I believe the whole premise will be different. If you want to see how I think this alternate season would end and what Season 4 would look like, then definitely let me know in the comments section. I haven't even really thought about it, but I think I'll let you guys decide for yourselves what would happen. It is a fan fiction, so you guys can finish the story. Now you may ask, but Andrew, what about Allie? I didn't forget. She would still come back similarly, but Johnny wouldn't have Miguel's help trying to impress her, for obvious reasons. I think her role would be more significant though, because at this point in the season, Johnny has things going well. In this alternate season, things are still not going great regardless of how much time has passed. It's a whole recovery process. It sucks losing someone. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please kick the shit out of that like button. Let me know if you want to see a sort of continuation of this with the ending. I can also make more fan fictions, predictions for Season 4, or just anything in general regarding Cobra Kai. Don't forget, I can make videos and other things as well. I have tons of ideas I want to share with you guys, and there's a whole new series coming on Disney Plus soon that I will talk about. Till the next video, peace.
Tango and Cash were narcotics detectives.
Oh, I'm sorry. You do realize neither one of you are cops, right?